Okay guys, welcome to the second session of your chemistry intensive training. So today we're going to focus on the next part of your acid, base and salt. Okay. Today typically we're going to focus on what exactly is an oxide, and after that we'll touch a little bit on solubility table, and then if time permit we'll proceed on to salt preparation. So basically there are different types of oxide. Alright, basically oxides are compounds that consist of your oxygen gas. Alright, it can be divided into metallic oxide as well as non-metallic oxide, and in general there are 4 different types of oxide. First of all, we'll learn about basic oxide, and then we'll learn about acidic oxide, followed by amphoteric, and then the neutral oxide. So what exactly are basic oxides? Basic oxides are metallic oxides. Most of them are solid at room temperature, and basic oxide, because they are basic in nature, they can react with acid to form salt and water only. Okay, it can be both soluble and insoluble in water. So some examples will be sodium oxide, potassium oxide, so on and so forth. Alright, any metal, so long it has a metal with an oxygen, it is known as a basic oxide. So how do I know? Assuming this is your periodic table, there's a staircase dividing. Any metal oxide over here, they are your metal oxide. They will be basic in nature. And if they are basic in nature, they can react with my acid to form salt and water. Okay, now so some chemical reactions of basic oxide with acid. As you can see, calcium oxide, because it is metal and it's an oxide, so this must be basic oxide. Okay, and then it reacts with nitric acid, it gives you a salt and water. So again, how do we identify the salt? Alright, you know that this is a basic oxide. Alright, you know this is basic oxide, this is an acid because of the H. You will get a salt and water. H2O is used up, O is used up, so you're only left with calcium and nitrate. So just a quick recap, calcium is Ca2+, alright, nitrate is NO3-. When you do the crossover method, that's how you can obtain CaNO3 bracket 2. Alright, so this is just a recap of the ionic formula. And the second example, pretty much the same. Sodium oxide is a base, hydrochloric acid is an acid. You will get a salt plus water, and that's how you do it. Alright, now moving on, this is acidic oxide. So we have learned that basic oxide, basically they are your metal oxide. Alright, so acidic oxide, they are known as your non-metal oxide. They are known as your non-metal oxide. Usually they are gases at room temperature and they dissolve in water to form acid. Acidic oxide has got acidic property. Alright, so when they have got acidic property, they can react with your alkaline to form your salt and water only. Some typical example will be SO2, SO3 and CO2. So what do you realize? Usually acidic oxide, they are non-metal oxide, and usually they have greater than 2 oxygen atom. Example, SO2, CO3, SO3, CO2. Another example will be NO2, so NO2, so on and so forth. Alright, so basically all these are your acidic oxide. Some of the chemical reaction. Example 1, sulfur dioxide. Sulfur is a non-metal, and because it has 2 or more oxygen, it is acidic in nature. Plus sodium hydroxide, this is actually an alkaline, will gives you a salt and water, so this must be your salt. So how do I know? Example, SO2 plus sodium hydroxide, you will get a salt and water. Alright, sodium sulfide and water. Okay, so another example will be carbon dioxide. This again is an acidic oxide because it has got 2 or more oxygen. Dioxide means it's CO2, and sodium hydroxide, you get a carbonate and water. Alright. So, what is silicon 4 oxide acidic oxide? It should be, alright, because it is a non-metal oxide and it has got 2 or more oxygen. So, hope this clarifies the part on acidic oxide. Moving on. Now, so far we have learned that anything that's metal oxide, they are basic. Anything that they are non-metal oxide, they are acidic. Alright, so what about amphoteric oxide? Amphoteric oxide means that it can react with both acid and alkaline to form salt and water. It has a capability to behave like a base and an acid, so meaning it has dual property. Alright, so examples, so far we have only identified zinc, aluminium and lead. So in short, it's known as ZAP, zinc, aluminium and lead oxide. These are the only three amphoteric oxide that we have learned so far. And amphoteric meaning that they will be able to react with both acid and alkaline. So some chemical reaction, it is a good to know, not very important. Alright, so what will happen is that zinc oxide plus an acid gives you a salt and water, so just an example. Alright, and then zinc oxide can also react with alkaline to give you a salt and water, another example. Okay, so pretty simple. Okay, so in this case the zinc oxide shows a basic property, and over here, because zinc oxide now reacts with alkaline, it shows a acidic property. So take note of this. This is the meaning of amphoteric oxide. And then what exactly is neutral oxide then? So far we have covered, alright, basic oxide. We have covered acidic oxide, usually more than 2 oxygen. We have covered amphoteric. Amphoteric means it can react with both acid and alkaline. Neutral, from its words here, it actually means it cannot react at all. Cannot react at all. Alright, so usually they are insoluble in water. They are neither acidic nor basic. Example, usually they are your non-metal oxide with only 1 oxygen. Alright, so that's pretty much sums up everything. Okay, so there are different type of oxides. So I say again, there are different type of oxide. First we learn about basic oxide. Alright, it has got a basic property, it can react, alright, with acid to give you salt and water. Next we have learned, and they are known as your metal oxide. Acidic oxide, on the other hand, they are known as non-metal oxide. Non-metal oxide usually greater than 2 oxygen. It has 2 or more oxygen. Because they have acidic properties, so they react with alkaline to form salt and water. Amphoteric oxide, so far we have only learned it to be zinc, aluminium, lead oxide. They can react with both acid and alkaline. Neutral oxide, they cannot react at all, and usually they are non-metal with 1 oxygen. Hope this helps.